I'm Jade McNeil and welcome to the BEESPACE Podcast, your bi-weekly dose of business and property realness. No hype, no fluff, and definitely no BS. Just honest conversations about what it really takes to build something from nothing. Well, hello. Welcome to the BEESPACE Podcast. And guys, listen. This is going to be a solo episode. I've not done one of these for absolutely ages. So I thought, right, there's been quite a few, changes, like positive stuff going on for me. So I want to talk about one of those important things that I've been doing and chat about that in this episode. Worth mentioning that today is, as I sit and record this, the most hottest day of the year so far. So I'm currently sat at home and I do have all of the windows and doors open. And so you may be able to hear the glorious British countryside in the background. So yeah, lots of birds and things in the background. But that's reality, isn't it? You know, I'm lucky enough to have built a business that enables me to work from home and sit at my table. I'm overlooking my beautiful garden, which is full of trees and birds and wildlife, and I've got cows at the end of the garden, and so it's very much we've got this whole inside outside thing going on. So it literally will sound like in the back of this episode, like, you know, the countryside is with us, because really it is. So I hope everybody's keeping well. I've done, my past couple of months, my episodes have been very much focused around having incredible guests, and we've got loads more lined up. But I thought it might be quite nice for me to just kind of give you guys a bit of an update, really, and, you know, some of the things that's been going on. So if you've been following me online sort of from March onwards, you will have noticed that we successfully started my most recent Mastermind program, which is the Elevate to 8 program. I mean, I've spoken about this before on the pod when, you know, I've kind of given a bit of background behind it, but the Elevate to 8 program was a vision that I had in my mind for a good year before it became reality. And where the program, I host it with Sam Lowney in East London in Shoreditch, where the program is and the location and the type of people that I dreamed would come on the program, you know, and the sort of subjects and stuff that we'd be talking about. You never really know, when you've got a new product, because everything's consultancy, bricks and mortar, whatever we're talking about, it's all product to me. Whenever you've got a new product, if it's going to work, is anyone going to want to be part of it? Or, and is there going to be any interest? Is the format going to be beneficial to people, and so on? So in March, we officially hosted, Sam and I, our first face-to-face with our members of our program. So we've currently got 13 businesses on there. And you know what? I'm not afraid to say it. I'm so proud of what we have created in the Elevate to 8 program. It's so brilliantly, if I've said that right, unique in terms of like business and property development combined kind of space and offering out there. It really is, I think, amazing. I'm going to say that right, but I genuinely think what we've created is so unique. And the reason why I think it's unique is because of the members that are on the program. So to give you an insight into the type of kind of people, businesses, experiences, backgrounds that we've got on there, it's such a cool and exciting mix. And like, by all means, you tell me if you found anything like this, where you get these type of people together in a room, you know, sharing and supporting. So obviously in the room, you know, it is a property and business combined program, you know. So obviously there's millions of pounds GDV's worth of property development happening across, you know, the lion's share of the members in there. Everything from, you know, your student accommodation inside Article 4 through to like commercial conversion. We've got supported living providers, like large scale supported living providers, moving through into hotel owners, 2 hotel owners around the table, restaurant owners, We've got serviced accommodation. We've got some seriously cool commercial business owners as well. I've got agency owners. And when I say agency, I mean within the property development world. So I've got large-scale HMO owners, both professional and student. I've got one agency owner that's looking to really move into kind of, well, initially the buy-to-let market and conquer that, but also eventually with the view to go into the sales side of agency. I've got someone in there that's built a massive agency and has sold it. I've got another agency owner in there that is going to be selling, is going to be exiting that business to focus on other things. So there's a lot of kind of property management across the board around the table in terms of experience. I've obviously got levels of interior design around the table, and what kind of offshoots can come of that interior design business, moving it away from client design work into a more digital, scalable element. And then I've got tech and also membership build around the table. So I think you can agree that that's a real unique blend of business owners. The one kind of common denominator across everybody is that everybody's there for one kind of reason, really, and that is to be able to understand how to create multiple streams of income. Because yes, they've got said business, but also they may be wanting to do more property development or more business generation, ideas that can come from one thing that they've started. So for an example, someone in there may have a hotel or a restaurant, and actually they want to scale that chain, but they want to focus more on doing pop-up and more experiential seasonal led things. So it's kind of like looking, how do we do that? What do we need to be able to execute that in terms of building teams and systems and marketing and content and so on and so forth? But yeah, everybody in there is really about, the focus is creating multiple streams of income, being forward thinking, utilizing what they've already built and kind of what they can grow moving forward, because that is the beauty of, having so many years under your belt, have created an established business. It's kind of like, in these times, where can you then take it? And that's what this Mastermind program is all about. So yeah, it's a real exciting mix of business owners. Naturally, when we all get together and we're all kind of deep diving into the highs and the lows of entrepreneurship, there's lots of conversations that, we have behind closed doors that I kind of think is maybe a benefit for me to share here on the podcast, for somebody that's out there that is running their own business already, is at a certain point and is feeling it and is probably feeling, this is only happening to me. Like, this problem is my problem, and everybody else is really successful and nailing it. But honestly, I've run a mastermind program since 2020 in one way or another. So I'm always privy to kind of like lots of conversations from different locations within, the UK. And there's always kind of common themes that pop up that everybody is probably around the table experiencing at that point, or has experienced, and like, how did you deal with that? So some of the kind of common things that, as business owners that we're dealing with, I'm going to run through today and kind of see, it might help you to kind of see that you're not on your own dealing with this, and that actually it's pretty normal. Always at the top of the list for any business owner is cash flow. Like, cash flow, they say, is king, and it's absolutely true. So it's like looking at every business, and every product-based business is really varied around the table. But like, at some point, somebody has come across, times where cash flow has been an issue, or they're hopefully foreseeing it as an issue in the future. So like, what are we doing about that? How can we get prepared for it? So around the table, if we're talking about cash flow and it being issues, we're really looking at, that current operational business, where it's at. Do we have anything within it that we can look at and tweak and modify and enhance, as it were, in the current and existing to be able to support cash flow? Do we need to has the business, this was definitely part of the conversation, has the business got to a point where actually we need to be looking for further investment to put a cash injection into it? What does that look like in reality then? Well, that might be, going to do a raise, getting a an investor pack ready on your business, and putting yourself in a position where you can go and have conversations with people in your wider network to potentially put funding and give you a cash injection into the business. So yeah, it's very much a topic that you don't always hear people being open and honest about, but affects us all at some stage. We've got multiple businesses. We've definitely had points in the past where, something's happened somewhere that's caused a delay and has caused a payment to come through or something to be paid. And it's kind of like having to rely on another thing to plug the gap, as it were. And that is the beauty of creating multiple things, multiple business assets, is that something somewhere will help, along the way. So yeah, it's always, cash flow is always a conversation that multiple business owners are having, and how do we navigate through that? This episode of the BEESPACE Podcast is kindly sponsored by the wonderful people at Landlord Furniture Co. Specialising in a huge range of high quality bespoke furniture, Landlord Furniture Co. provides durable pieces designed to last in your rental properties. If you're searching for the perfect furniture to attract professional HMO tenants, or need more resilient pieces for your student accommodations, considering cost-effective furniture packs for a larger property, or looking for something more personalised to elevate your serviced accommodation brand, whatever your need, Landlord Furniture Co. will craft a solution for you. You can say goodbye to rubbish old flat packs and start investing in a luxurious experience for your tenants. Backed by a 3-year warranty and exceptional customer service, they really are the smart choice for any landlord or property developer out there who takes their properties, their tenants and their business seriously. So ready to transform your spaces with Landlord Furniture Co. and ensure that your investments stand out in the market? Visit Landlord Furniture Co. today at www.landlordfurnitureco.co.uk, or you can head to their showroom, which is in Oldham, or find them over on Instagram at Landlord Furniture Co. Now, let's get back to the episode. Another really interesting topic that came out of the session that's not often openly spoken about was knowing when is the right time to sell assets, or feeling like you can sell assets, because I think particularly on the property development side, we're sort of ingrained to believe that we create these things and keep them forever. But they're there, this is kind of what came out of the conversation, is that they are there to be, sold, traded, to do whatever you need to do at that point to be able to grow and scale in a different direction. So like, never be afraid to come to terms with the fact that actually at some point you may need to sell assets. Maybe you've got to come to a hard decision about actually selling a business and exiting it. Like, how do you get to that point where you can confidently say, yes, this is the right decision for me to move forward? And I think every business owner at some point inevitably is going to get to that point where they've got to make that hard decision, but understand the bigger reason for why they are doing it, and that actually it might be that you need to free up a load of equity, a load of cash, because you want to put it somewhere else, because that's where your new opportunity lies. And you know what? That's okay. And you shouldn't feel bad for that, because it's definitely all about enabling yourself to be able to grow. Because sometimes as a business owner, making a radical change in decision is not always the most naturalist thing, and we think, oh my God, this feels scary. This feels so much. But that's just it though. That's just natural. That's a natural part of business growth. Something may be feeling slightly awkward and not comfortable, but absolutely necessary for you to do. And again, when you're in an environment where you've got people, of a similar level to you, where you can have that open conversation, actually how you feel in those moments is the same as possibly the person next door to you, and how you deal with it. That's the thing that's moving forward. But yeah, having that kind of like connection to be able to have those honest and open conversations and say, look, I think I've got a radical decision that I need to make. I'm not necessarily comfortable in making it. Having those kind of experienced faces around you really do help to be able to say, look, I've been there. This was the outcome. I'd recommend, for the greater good of what you're trying to build, that this is the right thing moving forward. Because sometimes as a business owner, being at the top of the tree, as it were, having to call the shots and make the hard decisions. Sometimes you just got to let things go. You've got to be told to let it go and just move forward. But it's not always that easy, is it? And definitely a topic that always comes up over and over again, particularly in group situations, actually, through Mastermind and my other groups, that my mentoring and coaching groups, is always, as the business owner, is the idea of loneliness, and it being lonely, making the decisions by yourself and kind of second guessing yourself. And is that the right thing to do? That's not what I'm told is society doesn't tell me that's the right decision to make. Don't sell something, don't take a risk, don't, stay in your box, as it were. And it can be quite a lonely game, and you can feel the pressure. Oh my God, I've been there so many times, and I'll be there again, no doubt. But where you feel the pressure to make that tough call, and that is where being with other people is so important and valuable for your own personal growth, and just kind of being able to be honest and get it off your chest, and that is what is needed sometimes, to be able to say, okay, this is my situation, this is what I'm in, like, what does everybody think, what would you do if you was in my position? Because actually that combats the feeling of loneliness and isolation as running your own business. I definitely say that with kind of all of these touch points of conversation that came up, and I know come up for so many people, and I hopefully you've listened to this and a lot of it resonates. Ultimately, I think it's all about organizing your own truth zone, right? And really kind of digging deep and understanding what feels right for you, because ultimately that helps you be able to make the decisions. You want to be honest with yourself and open with yourself, and be surrounded with the right people that you trust to give you advice. That's so important. Everybody that's sat around the Elevate to 8 table, everybody's looking to grow. They're looking to make some moves, but also we do need to be realistic. Like, what do we have, what it takes to be able to facilitate those changes? And actually, more importantly, does it really sit with the lifestyle that you're trying to build? Because, and we forget this so easily, and this was a big kind of like final takeaway of the day, we forget this so easily, like all of this money making that you're doing, these businesses, these assets, all of this pain that you're putting yourself through, because it's going to be at some point, is it all worth it? What you're getting out from it, are you happy? Does it suit your lifestyle? So yeah, it's kind of being honest and open with yourself and making sure that it does. So it's a really, really powerful environment, the Mastermind environment. And honestly, like the group is just so bloody cool. It was a real pinch me moment, to be fair. Like, like I said at the start of the episode, had the vision, executed it, and it's like, this is good. But for me, always with these types of things, when I reflect after, it's kind of looking at it and going, actually, the bigger benefit for all the members over the next 12 months is huge for them. So I'm proud to have created this space where people can come, talk openly, about what challenges they're facing, because a lot of these topics that I've kind of touched on, people are not an open book about it. You only see on social media how successful somebody is. And all of these people are very successful in their own right and, prominent on social media, but day to day, they're still feeling the same things that we're feeling as well. They're still, battling cash flow issues. They're still feeling isolated and lonely. They're still like having to make tough decisions and thinking, is this the right one? Like, 'cause we're all human, right? So yeah, if you've enjoyed this and you're a business owner, you're established, and you're thinking, just could do with some support. I could do with being around like-minded people that are my vibe, get my energy, having high-level conversations, but it's not like over-engineered and stuffy. It's realistic. It's no BS. It is what it is. Building businesses that I kind of respect and understand, then hit me up and let's have a chat, because we do, we are open to conversation to the right members, additional members coming onto the program. Like I say, we host it in East London. It's mega cool. And we've got loads of cool social stuff coming up. So yeah, if you want to get involved, you know what to do, drop me a DM. But I hope you've enjoyed this short and sweet episode from me. I just really want to highlight the realities of like what goes on behind closed doors for us crazy entrepreneurs. That's a wrap for another episode of the BEESPACE Podcast. I've been your host, Jade McNeil, property developer, mentor, and business coach. Don't forget to subscribe on your favourite platforms. And until next time, remember, don't believe the hype and always keep it real.